Hey there, YouTubers. As you might have noticed, somehow this I kind of misconfigured this camera, and it has some sort of dimmed in terms of its brightness or something. So so I just like to give you guys a bit of an update on my current circumstance, and also to provide myself some sort of reflections, on my own thoughts and mindsets and attitudes towards everything that's going on, and the people that that I encountered so far. Today, I made a bit of a progress with my translation, with several translation projects I have been assigned to, and I finished 4/10. I can pretty much anticipate the remaining ones will seem to pose less challenge, fewer challenges to me. I will do my best to finish them, up as soon as I can. Though in the meantime, I have to ensure the quality of translation, and all things considered, I don't actually have any degree or qualification in translation, despite my multilingual background, and even nowadays I don't speak my third language, Japanese, very well, though I kind of did a bit of a practice with a friend of mine back in Japan, from Hokkaido. Yes, I was still kind of shy and hesitant to speak, while I kind of carried out the code switching between Mandarin Chinese and English and Japanese, and I suppose that's where I need to work on. That's where I need to make further improvements on, and it will still take time. It will still take a lot more time than I used to, because as I mentioned, I don't think as fast as I used to. But before this such kind of illness got intensified and escalated, and I can only consider myself fortunate to still have someone looking after me amidst of all this, and actually I did not actually voluntarily choose to come back to my grandma's residence and live with her. It was that I just couldn't bear the both the mental and the physical pain, while I was still in my state of homelessness / exile in that hotel, and it all seems to me that God wants me to return to live with my grandma, to look after one another, despite the intrusive thoughts of mine, characterized by any sort of object can trigger the intrusive thoughts, or even on most occasions those intrusive thoughts can occur at any given time without any prior warning. that's what terrifies me the most so far. And apparently the medications prescribed by the doctor did not actually, has not yet significantly mitigated such condition. Well, of course, as you can see, the anxiety, the symptoms of anxieties have been successfully and largely suppressed. So at least I can sleep like a normal human being. That's the good news of ingesting such medication. Those medications, though, in about another week, I was advised to revisit the doctor to see him, and have some conversations with him and see if he needs to switch the medications, and see if he also needs to alter the dosage of each medication he prescribes. All those ordinary routine that you will tend you have to follow while you visit a psychiatrist or any other doctor in a hospital. I know, yes, the routines in each country of seeing doctors can vary greatly, but in China, let's just say, it's I still don't get used. I still don't get so used to having to follow all these procedures and routines. Especially the WeChat scanning. You have to scan the number. You have to scan the QR codes and some other shite, and exposing yourself to data harvesting, identity thefts, and the regime's monitoring mechanisms, and that's just so it has me so concerned about my own privacy and safety here in China. Of course, also considering my own inclination and preferences to uphold some parts of the Western world's values, and my religious belief in Jesus. Someday I might get persecuted in China, or not like by the regime, but maybe by some other crazy person, some other sorts of people from other factions. That still has me concerned, deeply concerned, and I hate to leave my grandma behind. Once I can set sail to another country, to the outside world once again. Let's just hope and pray that my grandma will continue to live with health and wealth, and with love and care. I don't know, what what's the future. Well, I don't know where my future lies. I don't know, what kind of occupation I would choose. I would have to choose. After I manage to recover from this illness, assuming I do get recovered afterwards. And it's just that you nowadays young men do all have their legitimate grievances, especially young men who don't have dads, like me. I don't. That means I don't have someone I can talk to about, how I should live my life, how specifically I should deal with all those sorts of problems, except Jesus. Even when it comes to having some sort of a debate, not exactly an argument, but a debate on various topics like religion, philosophy, politics. Of course, you are usually not advised to discuss politics in China, and I don't do so. I don't usually do so either. I'll try to avoid getting myself into trouble as much as I could, because actually nowadays in China you can get into trouble so easily by purchasing a pet, a bird as a pet. You could get arrested. You could get, at least, to say the least, fined, if not arrested, for keeping a bird, for purchasing a bird and keep it as a pet. Because that allegedly something like that happened to a uncle of mine here in China. I heard it from my grandma. Because of some sort of ongoing investigations into this, where and how the COVID-19 virus got initiated, or where its whereabouts, and how and where it originated from, and by what means of transmission, and all those sources, all those crap had had multitudes of people so worried and terrified. So it is quite a tense time, not just in China, but in the rest of the world. I don't know. How you guys have been affected by COVID-19, specifically speaking, in your areas, in your suburbs, respectively. Though I do have sources of news from all over the world, by circumventing the Great Firewall, using several tools. Well, I will show you some tools that I use to circumvent the Great Firewall. On my Patreon page. Due to its sensitive nature, I will for now share it on my in my Patreon page. Maybe later, once the lockdown and all those travel restrictions got lifted, I might be able to release some of the Patreon exclusive contents, including what kinds of medication I have been taking, and the tools that I use to circumvent the Great Firewall. Information like that. I might be able to disseminate and share with you guys on YouTube in public, or maybe also via Discord. Yeah, someday, as long as I feel the time has become appropriate and most adequate. But we will see how it goes. Yeah, and but at least tonight I don't have to, at least while I ingest these pills, I don't have to get bothered and harassed by super severe anxiety. At least I can, like I said, at least thanks to those pills, at least I can sleep. I can hibernate like a normal human being. And yeah, a massive thanks to duality reality. Sorry, I pronounced your alias wrongly last time, due to my incompetence in the English language. There are still quite a number of words I don't tend to pronounce correctly, so I still need some more time to do my own homework, to commit myself to doing more studies. So even if I am not, like, technically speaking, a student, I have to continue assimilating and gathering knowledge and wisdom as if I am still a student. Maybe if God willing, He might reinstate my identity as a student in the future. Assuming I do, by some sort of magic, got admitted to another university, in the Western world, in Great Britain, maybe in Ireland. Well, I have thoughts to study in Ireland if I don't have enough funds to study in Great Britain or go back to Australia to study, to continue living a life as a student. And I have to keep practicing my speech, lest I stutter, lest my stuttering makes your life a living hell while you watch and listen to my videos. So I have to keep working and improving on many things, and that's one. And I also firmly believe that also constitutes one of the many purposes and meanings of life, is to continue learning, forever remain a student, a disciple of life, of God, because God is the source of all lives, and that includes each and every one of us here. And also I have to work my ways. I have to work my angles, or work between the angles to execute my my plan of survival in China I if I for some other reasons been rendered utterly unable to return to the Western world. I have to make some backup plans in case such situation arises. Let's hope, let's just hope for the best and yet prepare for the worst. Prepare as much as you can, though you don't have to though you needn't worry too much. Well, you still have to worry for a day, sometimes, just like what the Bible taught you to do with worrying. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow has its own worries. Yes. So yeah, I believe I have talked long enough for tonight, and thank you again for watching and listening, and thank you thank you even more to Jay Singh for your continuous support, and apparently also another dude of my who has been supporting me on Patreon, alias named alias John Smith. I highly appreciate your support, your massive support as well. Tough times like these, like this, we all have to stick together. So I can promise you guys that I will continue to create content. I will continue to practice creating content of better quality to repay your support, to encourage, to enable us to continue encouraging one another, and learn from one another, instead of having trifles with one another, because it's not productive, it's not mutually beneficial. Yeah. So thanks for watching and listening again. Hope to see you next time in my next videos on YouTube. Good day, good night, bye bye, cheers.